It was a very, very good draft. I mean, again, when Dave Gonzalez is your worst player, it's honestly not that bad. You know, it's pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Really quickly, do we have anybody? Ooh, we do. Let's go back over here. I was going to say, do we have anybody willing to sign for dirt cheap? Honestly, Maurice Burnett for the next 5 years. Catcher, welcome back. 43 months here at the Factory of Sadness. And I thank you for it. Can we sign Maurice Burnett for like $1.2 million for the next 5 years? No, he wants a little bit more money. What about 1.5? Actually, not even. Let's go 1.4. There it is. Maurice Burnett's back long term. Israel Gutierrez is finally looking for a big boy contract at 34. Hinojosa. I mean, Hinojosa's looking for a dirt cheap deal anyway. But 3 years to bring him up to age 37 for only $2 million. Why not? If you DFA this guy, he's going to get claimed. Honestly, maybe we just even go with the 2 arbitration years instead. 1.9 million? Perfect. He's back for dirt cheap. Mr. Coe, 4 years at 2.3. I'd be a big fan of that. How about even like 1.8? He's back. Pena. I mean, he could go the 5 years at 2.2. Just to have him here long term. Let's go 1.7 million. Pena's back. Dirt cheap. Espinosa's been struggling. I don't know if we'll be bringing him back anyway. Lima is still, I mean, he's dirt cheap until the end of time. He's also 36. We'll worry about re-signing him later. Irizarry. 4 years at 2.4 would be tremendous. Especially if we can get him for 1.9. He signed. We're going to continue to abuse these team-friendly deals. 3 years left for Grant Riley for as low as $4.1 million. Honestly, we might actually just... Well, no. Honestly, let's just get him signed through the arbitration years. $4.1 million for 3 years before it jumps up to 17. That's a steal and a half. Even if we could go 3.5. Perfect. Gary Dixon wants a big-time deal. Dyer. 4 years at 1.7. We did send him down, but if he'll take that, and he does, we'll be fine. Fabregas. We'll go 2 years at essentially an entry-level deal. Ronaldo Garcia. I don't really want to sign you to over $1 million yet. But 6 years at 1.1, the buyout wouldn't be that bad. In case you do take off an OVR. 6 years, 900K? Cool. And then Darrell Williamson, 6 years, 900K. Perfect. So we only have 4 dudes left to sign in the upcoming off-season. At least that are on big boy contracts, and we'll see how that plays out based on the money that we have available. We are 6 games over 500. Woo! I think the Knights goaltending situation to trade Leonard. I mean, they don't necessarily have to unless he can come back, which is no guarantee. Okay, like all of these injuries except for Steve Varella's fractured shin are in the minors. That does still hurt, though. Pitching-wise, honestly, the call... Ooh, Jason Gill. We got to get you back in there. So let's get Ronaldo in there as the long reliever. We'll get Jason Gill back in there. Honestly, these pitchers have done better than the higher overall guys. We're good with that. In terms of relievers, Chris Martins. What do we end up paying Gill again? He took the qualifier. Martins hasn't been great, but he hasn't been abysmal. Ronaldo Garcia has been abysmal, actually. Okay. So, Hiller hasn't dominated AAA. He's done well, but hasn't dominated. Alan Dyer's done much better. Trujillo's done much better. We could give Adline or Fabregas their opportunity. So it's either, honestly, for the sake of the 40-man. Actually, Adline is on the 40-man, is he not? Yes, he is. As is Fabregas. Let's go with Casey Adline. We'll send Ronaldo Garcia back down to AAA. We're going to give Casey Adline the opportunity as the long reliever. Espinoza is cooked. He's not even dominating AAA. That's brutal. Honestly, Raul Maraville. I would have to drop somebody off the 40-man. What do we want to drop here since Lima's on the roster? Oh, that's right. We were going to drop Cortez earlier. We'll see if he clears. And let's give Raul Maraville a chance on the Major League roster already. And we'll be sending Martins down. He does have to go through waivers, but if someone claims him, so be it. No big deal. So yeah, Adline is the long reliever. Maraville onto the roster. We're looking good. Lineup-wise, McCann's done phenomenally well. Rivas still doing okay. Messer still hitting .339. Pablo Ramirez as a catcher this year is struggling at the plate. Rick Gutierrez at second is also struggling a little bit more than he normally does. Tim Cohen left has really struggled. When he hits the ball, it goes far. You got Burnett hitting .263. As crazy as it sounds, because we need to get to the playoffs first. Maurice Burnett is going to come in at catcher. We're not going to bench Gutierrez. Although Ken Hahn, through 20 at-bats, has done very well. But Gutierrez is so good defensively, he stays even if he's not setting the world on fire. Best jersey in all of sports. There's European soccer teams that are sponsored by Burger King. Those ones. Liss can indeed play left. I was just waiting to see if there was another outfielder who deserves the chance. Honestly, play Pena in right. I mean, Liss hasn't been that bad. So we have room for one person. Pena's hitting .281. Hinojosa's hitting .302. I think we got to get Hinojosa in there. Put him at DH. Put DJ Liss in left. So we do have a couple of unexpected changes to the lineup. But again, we have the depth to pull it off. I'm good with that. We do have to fix the AAA rotation. No surprise there. We want Ronaldo Garcia as the long reliever. I mean, all of these pitchers doing it. Russell Hiller, I got to be honest. Shout out to the Golden Knights beating the Oilers. You'd love to see it. Man, these relievers have sucked. Jesus. Honestly, let's put these guys in the back half of the pen. Well, House of Bell hasn't really pitched that much. Get these guys some more time. The AA is obviously still going to be fine. So we should be okay. The question is, can we make up a 9-point gap? Or 9-game gap, I should say, to the Cubs. The season ended today. We'd be in the playoffs. We're 4 games up on the Braves. So once again, the Pirates are in a position where you just need to not choke. As we lose the series to Miami 2-1. We do sweep Philadelphia. Lose the series to Chicago. Get swept by Kansas City. 3 games against Boston, we lose the series. Oh, my God. Not again. Not again. Eckert has struggled big time. So has Williamson, but Williamson's been a little bit better. Casey Adling, who was actually supposed to be the long reliever, he has crushed it. Good for Casey. Merriville through 10 innings has been almost unhittable. Galloway's ERA is up a little bit. Adrian Ortega has been awesome. Check something really quickly. Merriville's been awesome. Merriville has been awesome. Howie, I mean, you're down to a 77. We're going to put Merriville as the setup man. Irizarry as the new closer. Unfortunately, I don't know if Howie's maintaining the same elite production that he had in previous years. Trujillo is crushing it in the majors, so we're going to send Eckert down, and Luis Trujillo has earned the right to make it back to the majors. He sucked. Absolutely sucked when he was here in the regular season, but we'll see what he can do this time. Lineup-wise, Burnett's still hitting 255. Hinojosa's still batting close to 300. Will Leon's next contract be over 12 mil? It should be. It should be. We do beat Seattle 2-3. We have 4 games against the Dodgers. We won 3 out of 4. 3 games against the Rockies. We lose that series. And then 2 games against Milwaukee. 2 wins. Brings us to September 1st. We are still right where we were before. 9 games back of the Cubs. But are now about 6.5 games up in the wild card. We'd have to choke. We'd have to choke badly. Got F122 on EA Play today and realized the combo of controller, nerve damage in my hands, and Monaco equals me never touching that game again. I could have told you that. Have you never watched us play F1 around here? Did you never watch that experience? That was an all-timer, let me tell you. All right, really quickly. Gaucho would be a hell of a call-up. Yeah, from a batting perspective, Thomas Gaucho is our position player call-up. And Russell Hiller, last year's Rookie of the Year, has earned his way back to the majors. He'll get the call-up. Let's get Trujillo in there for Williamson. Yeah, Daryl's been awful. Sorry, Daryl, but it's just it's not happening. Back to AAA for you. Dyer, the 272. Honestly, an Alan Dyer will bring you back as well, and hopefully your confidence is back to where it needs to be. To be honest, we're going to have 3 long relievers for the moment. We're going to have 3 long relievers, and we'll see which one of these guys finishes with the best numbers by the end of the year. Howie Galloway has easily been our worst reliever. It's actually made Raul Merriville our closer. I don't know why, but he has been insane. I'd rather have Irizarry in there still, though. Endo Mills, you handsome Diablo. How are you? Martins and Espinoza there. Okay. I think we're good. Now we're allowed to have Thomas Gaucho for the rest of the regular season. I mean, this club should clean up. I never would have thought that Maurice Burnett would make it into this lineup as the option over Pablo Ramirez, but that is exactly what happened. As... Oh, we have an injury? Who's hurt? Oh, it's because Stevie Varela's still hurt. That's why. Well, we need another pitcher then. It probably shouldn't be Espinoza or Martins. Young Ricky Hoff. Yeah, Galloway really fell off this year, unfortunately. Who can we get rid of off the 40, man? There's really no obvious shout to remove someone from the 40, man. Honestly, Ruben Eckert, after his struggles, we'll risk losing him. And, yeah, we're going to go with Ricky Hoff to fill in at reliever. Just got back from hockey. Team blew a 5-1 lead in the third period while I was possibly having the best game since lockdown. You blew a 5-1 lead? And you're blaming it on the team? Some teammate you are. Some teammate you are. Lendo, you'll be happy to know that in our league, I managed to piss off a bunch of people tonight. So, there you go. All right, let's see. Oof, we wrap up. I am the goalie. I know. You blew a 5-1 lead. You're blaming yourself. What a team player. Unless you're not blaming yourself and you're blaming the team, in which case you're a bad teammate. So you blew it. Or you were the goalie for the team that was down by 4 and then won, in which case you allowed 4 fucking goals at least. Anyway, 3 games against Houston. We did lose Ruben Eckert. We did lose Ruben Eckert on waivers, but we did just draft a lot of starters, so that's okay. Well, Ruben, maybe a fresh start will help you. One can only hope. And 40 shots on goal going into the third. Need save, goalie. Need save. Let's bump up Casilla to AAA. Is that enough? It is. It is. Just sounds like it didn't want to win. Right? Skill issue. I agree. You need to be mentally stronger. 40 shots on goal. How many of them did you stop, huh? And now we have too many players on roster because Lima's back. I don't want to say that Howie Galloway has to go, guys, but he has struggle bust. Oh, actually, his ERA isn't that bad. Somebody does have to go. Dyer's still over that 6 ERA. Adeline's ERA has dropped as well. All right, Casey, we gave it a shot, buddy, but given your struggles, we are going to go with the higher overall options come playoff time. Motherfuck. We are running into some issues here. Daryl, hate to tell you, you got to go down to AA at a pure necessity. There we go. 3 games against Cincinnati. We win the series. 9.5 back of the Cubs, though, but in a good spot for the wild card. 3 games against Minnesota. We swept them. Now 6.5 back of the Cubs. Top wild card team, and boy, oh boy, we have 3 games coming up against Chicago, but before that, it's 3 games against Washington. We swept them. Oh, Chicago's winning, though, too. We're looking great for the wild card, but can we win this division? 3 games against Cleveland. They're 20 games under 500. We win the series. 6.5 back of the Cubs, who have clinched the playoff spot. We have to essentially sweep them to really have a chance at winning. They're 5-5 in their last 10. We're 9-1. We've almost clinched a wild card spot. We win game 1, 5-0. Win game 2, lose game 3, as the AAA ball club wins 84 games and still misses the playoffs, and AA sucked. 5.5 back, we have clinched a wild card spot. For the first time, we have made the playoffs in back-to-back seasons. What an accomplishment. 2 games against Kansas City. We won them both. But unfortunately, the Cubs are just too good. So we will be the top wild card team in the National League. As we wrap up the season, 3 games against Cincinnati, we go 90-72. And we'll be playing the San Diego Padres in round 1, the wild card. You also got the Cubs and Marlins, Angels and Tigers, Royals and Rangers. But this is the first time. It took until 2041 for us to make the playoffs in back-to-back seasons for the first time. Starting pitching-wise, we're a team. It's our biggest Achilles heel, despite having good ratings. I mean, Adlene had a 5 ERA. Fabregas was one of the lone people to not get called up. Garcia had a 4.25. Michael Diaz was one of the lone players not to get called up. Darryl did get called up, had a 4.74. Honestly, Ronaldo Garcia. Can anything save Hiller, Trujillo, and Dyer? 470 FIP, 462, 441. Adlene at a 6. He was awful. Garcia. Fuck. We might be relying on the bullpen a lot. A lot. Irizarry looked good. Varela looked good. Ortega. How did Ricky Hoff do? Ricky Hoff has to be on this playoff roster. Fuck. Did I call him up too late? I thought he was on the 40-man. Fuck. Maraville's there at least. Spell didn't get called up. Esposito didn't. It has Boone Smoove, which I don't agree with. Espinoza was pretty shit. Howie Galloway, last year's hero, was better than he looked. Martins was, We did send him down, though. Lima was very good, and Spencer didn't play. So Jose Lima's coming to the roster. Chris Martins is coming back. We are going to remove Boone Smoove. I wish I could have Ricky Hoff on the roster. Our 2 catchers, we had Pablo Ramirez, who somehow just fell off offensively. Only hit for 222 this year. Maurice Burnett, though, at a 268. Maurice will probably be the starter to kick off the series. So shout out to Pablo Ramirez, but you blew it, my man. First base, Vince Messer hit 330 this year with 39 home runs and 113 RBIs. Don't know if it'll be enough for his 3rd league MVP, but I hope it was. Ricky Gutierrez did up his average to 248 by the end of it. Ken Hahn, of course, is a great secondary defense first option. But yeah, no doubt that Rick is going to be playing second. Third base is still going to be Israel Gutierrez. Don't know if we'll keep Gaucho on the playoff roster, but Joe Dale in limited at-bats did play pretty well. Hinojosa at shortstop and Ricky McCann. Rick did very well at shortstop this year. It did drop Tim Coe off of the playoff roster. I know he only hit 214, but he is way too valuable to have not kept on the playoff roster. We'll drop Reyna because he never played this year. Freitas 294, which is awesome. He had a great season. DJ Liss hit 259. To be honest, we might be moving DJ over to left. And then you had Rivas with a 247 average. Pena 271. It'll be a short leash, but yeah, Pena might be in the conversation. Might be in the conversation. I'd rather have him on the playoff roster than Reyna. So we technically have 2 players that we have to drop. Gaucho never gotten at bat. Pena hit 271. He deserves a chance on this playoff roster. We need Ko as a pinch runner. So I do think Gaucho's probably an odd man out. Yeah, sorry to Thomas Gaucho, but you're an odd man out. And we're going to drop one of those starters between Hiller, Trujillo, or Dyer to have the extra reliever. It's either Trujillo or Hiller. And it's going to be Luis Trujillo that gets dropped from that playoff roster. I think we're all right. There's going to be some concerns. Certainly. Certainly some concerns. Gary Dixon off of ERA apparently deserves that 3rd spot. If we were to base this off of FIP rating, I mean, Jason Gill would still be the top option. Never mind, Jason Gill did actually take that contract, $15 million a year. I could have sworn it said when he came back, he accepted the qualifying offer. Gary Dixon has been our best starter this year. What in God's name? What in God's name? I'm still going to have him hit 3rd or pitch 3rd. But yeah, that's the setup. That's the setup right there. It's a little bit scary, but yeah, Jason Gill still deserves it. He still deserves it. Gill was hurt for about 2 months. That's correct. Let's see. That 302 for Ortega. Maraville was awesome. And we have Lima up here. Maraville, Lima, Ortega are going to be the first ones that we turn to, and they're 3 of our lowest rated. But the bullpen's looking strong. The lineup is also looking okay. Actually, it's not because it has Ricky McCann at DH. All right, let's reorganize this. So we got Burnett at catcher. Let's organize it this way really quickly just so we know what we're dealing with. So Messer, Gutierrez, Israel Gutierrez. Shortstop is McCann. DJ Liss, Fritas, Rivas. 276 average. Joe Dale didn't play much, but when he did, he hit lights out. We're going to give it to Hinojosa. We're going to give it to Hinojosa, who actually is a better fielder than McCann. So, you know, I do agree, actually, with that setup. What do we have speed-wise? We're going to go with Fritas and List to lead us off. Unless we just want to base it off of pure average, which we might, actually. We might go that way. And just try to get our best hitters in a situation where they could succeed. That is the game plan. The good thing is, I mean, our worst hitter is Rivas at a 247 so far. Let's see, 259. And Fritas to 294. Do we want to do it that way? Honestly, let's swap Messer so he has more RBIs chance. It'll be Fritas, McCann, Messer. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. So, Fritas, McCann, and Messer Gutierrez, Hinojosa, Burnett. Let's get Burnett back in at catcher and enlist Gutierrez, Rivas. Having Rick Gutierrez hit 8th is not something I expected either. This was one of his weaker seasons at the plate. But man, if that lineup, if this team can't get it done, and we've said that before, but seriously, it's got to happen one of these times, right? It has to. Please, God.